everybody. 12 years. For many of you that have been in Bragg for a while, this was formerly known as the birthday party. In fact, our first celebration, we did have a birthday cake. Now it's called the group hug. And as many 12-year-olds, it gets challenging as parents as this process grows. In fact, when we started the process, Ron had a full head of hair. And now, because of this 12-year-old child has caused all these different turmoil over the years, it is gone. Today I'd like to talk a little bit, as Ron mentioned, about leadership. Some of you may know me a little bit, and you know I have a very eccentric taste in watching TV shows and movies. Last night, ironically, I turned the television on, and they had a show on about how the Peace Corps was formed. And it's a very interesting process. In fact, it's got home roots here. When President Kennedy was campaigning in 1960, he was making a stop through Ann Arbor. And some of the students there wrote a letter to him that he read before his speech there. Many students, about 1,000 or more, waited for hours for President Kennedy to come to Ann Arbor. Finally, at 2 in the morning, he comes. He did a 3-minute speech. And that speech was the seed for the Peace Corps. And some of the concerns that the students had in this letter about what he stood for, pertaining to many different things at that time. One of the things that they asked about, he spoke to, and that was personal involvement and civic responsibility. And with that, less than a year later, the Peace Corps was formed with the help of University of Michigan students. And how I want to relate that to leadership in Bragg is that many of you that are in leadership can relate to the story, because I served as a leader. And many of you that served in leadership or previous to that were very apprehensive about leadership. For many different reasons, and for good reasons, because you take the responsibility very, very seriously. There was a lot of unknown factors in leadership. How does it work? Can I do it? And all those certain things. But ultimately, I think all of us that have served as leaders can share with the group that it was a very personally rewarding experience. Without strong guidance and leadership in our groups, Bragg would not exist in the form that it exists today. It's a very structured process, but there's many, many, many moving parts. Anytime you get more than 20 or 30 individuals together, there's always challenges. But in that, if you follow the process of Bragg, with the support of the Chamber and Ron and the leadership team, it's a very, very rewarding process. So with that, sometime in the future, someone will come to you and say, you know, you'd make a great leader. Would you consider it? Think about it as a civic responsibility. Think about it as a way that you can elevate the business through the visibility of being in leadership in this fine Bragg process that will help you and ultimately the group to succeed. So with that, thank you for all of your help. When you become a leader, never stop being a leader. And one thing I can tell you, when I talk to many of the new groups when they form, and one of the things I always try to mention is that one thing you have to do is support your leadership team, because they took that step forward and did something that was out of their comfort level. As a result, we need to support that process in every way we can and support the leaders. So thank you very much, and may we have a very great 2011.